Your father is also coming from a Sayyid's family and descendant of Hazrat Abdul-Qadir Gilani from Baghdad.
अच्छा.
Uh, Baghdad saint was one of the greatest reviver of Islam. Just before his birth, the Islamic governments all over the Iraq had taken up to Bohemian life,
Okay.
and they were very lot of terror as you find today.
Really?
Had come into existence during that period of 9th and 10th century. So he was from a very saintly family. His father and the mother were extremely saintly, and it is believed that lot of miracles have taken place when he was still in his mother's womb.
Oh,
So
अच्छा.
when he was born, people did not know whether the moon had been sighted or not. His mother said that my son sucks my baby sucks the milk. Then today this one has not been sighted. New moon has not been sighted. But he didn't suck the milk and said now the moon has been sighted. You have to observe Rosa. So that was the precocious child, a genius, a brilliant. So he was around a small age. He had completed his Arabic education and he was interested in pursuing education in Baghdad. They were living in Jilan, a small town place in Iran. It was too far. She gave him 40 gold coins, stitched it on her armpit, and said, "You should never tell a lie." So the first miracle which was noticed was he was a young man, around 14, 15 years. He was going along with the caravan, and they were raided by the ruffians and thugs. So one of them asked, "Have you got money?" He said, "Yes, 40 dirhams are there here stitched." My mother has stitched. They were all shocked. "We have looted all the caravan and you are telling this. So are you not afraid?" I said, "I am not afraid. God is, I am afraid of God. We must always speak the truth. My mother told me to speak the truth." So immediately the thug took him to the chief, and the chief was astonished, and all of them fell on his feet and they accepted Islam. So that was the greatness of that saint. So after he completed his education, for 25 years he roamed about in the jungles of Iraq and Iran and was doing severe penance. Then the Prophet came in his dreams and said, "Now it is time for you to go back to the school where you studied, Nizamiya school in Baghdad, and start preaching." He said, "I am a Persian, I speak Persian, I am not so conversant with Arabic." So the Prophet put his saliva in his mouth, and that gave him the fasahat, that is the lucidity of expression. And when
MashaAllah.
he came to Baghdad and started addressing people to come back to the straight path, it was so impressive that the people would turn towards him, and when it was in hundreds and thousands and in lakhs. He was in 50s when he married, and his children all became saints. He had 9 sons, all were sons. The second son was Abdul Razzaq. So it is believed that your father and our father are descendants of Abdul Razzaq. The second son.
Second son.
Second son descendants. So your forefathers came to Shingal, no? Shingal. That is the place where
Shigo?
Shigan.
Okay.
So they settled down, and the saints mausoleum there.
Okay.
Who's your forefathers? So our saint mausoleum is there in Karwar.
Okay.
It was a port in Karnataka, North Karnataka. From one of the sons came here, and he was honored by the Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan.
Oh, really?
They granted him lands, and his uncle and all that, his ancestor was a saint who had not married. He is buried in Srirangpatna, very near to Srirangpatna, and that is the photo which you find there.
Okay.
So that is running in our family, and we perform the annual urs of that saint.
Oh, okay.
Every year. Our forefathers have been directly doing it for 400, 500 years. So that is how they were all scholars in Persian, scholars in Arabic, and our great-grandfather, Peeran's father, was a very great Maulvi, and he was honored by the Maharaja with the title of Sirajul Ulama, son among the scholars.
Wow.
So the Peeran Sahib, when he became graduate from the Madras University in 1887. He got the appointment as an inspector of schools. Then he became assistant commissioner. Then he became commissioner. Then he became member of the legislative council. So he was serving the people till his last breath. And his last breath was a wonderful thing. It was a miracle. All his children were surrounding him, and he mentioned to all of them that the angels have come down to take my soul.
Yes.
And he said that they are giving me the salam of our Allah. And now I am going to recite the kalma. You all have to be witness to my reciting kalma. And the doctor, or a Brahmin, Ramrao, was trying to give him an injection. He told him, "Doctor, you have served me a lot in my life. I am thankful to you, and don't try to save a sinking ship." Then he lifted his hand and salamed all his children and grandchildren who were surrounding him, and his hand fell, and with that he lost his breath. So he was such a saintly person. I was there serving him for last 2 years of his life. He had made me his murid also. So since he was talking about spiritualism, about saints, and he used to get a lot of literature, he used to ask us to read. He appointed good teachers for us, a Khazi and a Maulvi and all that. And we had very good initial training in Arabic, Urdu and English. And after his passing away, he used to visit most of us in his our visions and dreams. So everyone were loving him, everyone were doing their prayers. Every day they used to sit near my father, being the eldest son. It was his house, and all used to gather for 40 days. They all prayed. They used to go to his grave, and he used to come regularly and console everyone in the vision, in the dreams.
Really?
So he was considered as a saint. Not only he, his father, grandfather, great-grandfather, even the royal families and all had become their disciples. We call them as murid. In Persian, murid means disciple, student, who get the training in the inner knowledge of human self.
Right.
Human self is a divine spirit of Lord who has
Right.
blown in the clay of Adam.
Right.
And in that he has also put the Noor, the light of our Prophet. So the Prophet's Noor was the first which was created in the universe, and then the Adam was created, and the Noor went, Noor-e-Muhammad, and then Allah's spirit went. And because the man has been committing wrongs after wrongs from ages and generations, God had to send prophets to teach man to come back to his original form of purity of life, purity of heart, purity of mind, purity of soul. So when you attain the purest stage of the purification of soul, your nafs, your self becomes purified, and this purified soul reaches the Lord. It reaches the garden of bliss. So the God has promised that if you live a purified life and shun the animal consciousness with your moral power, courage of conviction, if you have the great courage to subdue the satanic whisperings in your mind, give up all your temptations, give up your selfishness, self-centeredness, anger, jealousy, lust, all these negative feelings which God has described through our Prophet in the Quran. About 300 weaknesses are there. But to remove all these weaknesses, you need a teacher, and who is an attained soul. He is an attained purified being. He gives you the teaching. He tells you which is the actions of yours which are emanating from the animal self, which is it coming from your own desires, your attachment to desires, your selfishness. Your actions are not purified. If you want your actions to be purified, then you purify your soul, and that purified soul is known as nafs-e mutmainna. And Surah Fajr, last 3 ayats have come. Ya ayyuhatan nafsan mutmainna irji ila raziyatan maradiya fadkhuli fi ibadihi wadkhuli fi jannati. God says, oh purified soul, return to your original path, original abode, and that is the abode of garden of bliss. So God has assured man that if you return, irrespective of the religion he professes or that, but if you believe in me, trust in me, rely on me, totally submit to me, to my commands and the Prophet's commands, and purify your mind, heart and soul, then your heart will glow, the eyes will glow, the mind will glow, and in your life itself you are a purified soul. And that purified soul, not only he enjoys the benefit and grace of Allah in this world, but he will also receive the same fruits in which he was promised, he was given in the garden of bliss, that is Jannat-e-Firdaus. So they are all good souls who believe in the Prophet, who believe in the Prophet's light, who believe in the God's Noor, and will certainly go back. They will see in the life itself the angels coming and giving them the salute of Allah. So this is the basic fundamental teachings of Islam, which is imbibed, crystallized in the teachings without politics, without man killing man, man overpowering man, with all the aggrandization he has. If you only distill the purity, and that pure spiritual teaching is known as tasawwuf, marifat-e ilahi. It's known as Sufism. In this regard, we have brought out the latest book, Fundamentals of Sufism. This Fundamentals of Sufism, you will find the basic teachings of Islam, see, so far as the inner soul of man is concerned. How the inner soul is divided into animal consciousness, moral consciousness, and the purified soul. So if you go through this book, you will get a lot of inspiration. Your soul will get inspired. You have in your soul the genes of great Sayyids. You are the descendant of Holy Prophet, Holy Hazrat Ali, Imam Hassan Hussain, and Hazrat Abdul-Qadir Gilani. Through all his descendants have practiced the art of purifying the soul and mind, and that will protect you. A ring of protection will pass over your body, and you will have an aura, A-U-R-A. This aura will protect you from all evil forces in the world, even the cosmic evil forces, gamma rays, this rays, that rays, dangerous rays, nuclear rays. All these things cannot touch your aura, which will be there, and you will be in a protected mind, protected heart, protected body. And if you follow and remember your forefathers who were all the descendants of Prophet, and send Darood Salam to a Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, deeply sit down in penance every day for about starting with 5 minutes to 1 hour, and as you grow in your spiritual growth, your hours of meditation and contemplation will increase. The age is not the factor, but if you truly return to the Lord to receive His grace, to receive His beauty, to receive His love, then you will become personification of love. You are love and nothing but love. And these great qualities were there in your mother, in your grandmother, in your great-grandfather, grandfather, your father, and all. They were very charitable, compassionate, loving people. God says, immerse yourself in my qualities. His qualities are that of compassion and mercy, which you say we begin in the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the merciful. When we say that, we have to imbibe the mercy, the beneficence, the compassion and charity, kindness, love. All these qualities should come back, return to your soul, and we have to give up all that is self-centeredness, selfishness, anger, jealousy, acts of accumulation, act of hurting others, troubling others, killing others. All that should go away from your mind and heart, and darkness should get repulsed, and the light and light alone should be surrounded in you. This is the message of Sufism. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to speak about Sufism, about our family and about your family. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much.